Morning. Happy Friday.
Morning.
We hope everyone's doing well. We just wanted to jump on and share another great week and how it went with you. This week, our goal in reading was to be able to identify the main topic of a text, as well as to be able to pull out some key details that support the main topic. And that was kind of a challenge at first. So Ms. Bowers and I were brainstorming, how can we teach this where it's more visual? And we came up with some blocks. So the students can understand that this large block is the main topic, what the whole story is about, and then the little blocks that support it are the key details. And that definitely seemed to connect with them and make more sense.
And without the details, then the main topic wouldn't be held up and it would collapse.
And the story wouldn't really make sense. So as you're reading to your child at home, a great question for them would be, what is the main topic of this text? And they should be able to tell you.
And how do you know? What in the text supports that?
Our goal in math was to continue to compare numbers, and we did that both with just looking at the number itself and using objects. So they did a lot of partner games.
Yep. And we made a greater gator, and the greater gator always eats what's greater. We also used the vocabulary more, less, and fewer, as well as equals to and same. So
they understand that equal means the same as, and we use less and fewer, the same, but you'll see the gator greater today in their folder. So anything that comes home in their folder, it's a great conversation starter for you to have with your child and have your child teach you whatever they learned in school and use the materials, the papers, the greater gator as a starter.
This week in science, we learned about bats using nonfiction texts, and we talked about their lives.
Yes, and great vocabulary.
And how they have pups and
echolocation. I'm sure many of you have heard them sing that echolocation song at home, and just the vocabulary. And we've watched some really neat videos about bats, and they've really enjoyed learning about
it. And our big Fun Friday project was all about bats.
Yes. And we wanted to share with you just a little strategy on how you can read with your child at home. We understand that not everybody has easy readers or age-appropriate books at home. And so we wanted to model using one of our mentor texts this week, Stella Luna. And if your child has this book and you're not reading with them, that is okay. But you can kind of ask your child, look at the pictures. How do you think the character is feeling? Make up your own story. What do you think is just what's happening in this picture? Do you notice any words that you see, any sight words, any word family words? And just because it is a more challenging text, they don't have to read word for word. We understand that that is too hard, but we have been using strategies in the classroom that they can transfer at home just by looking at pictures, making up their own story, connecting with the character, noticing a pattern in the pictures, or whatever it may be. So there's still things they can do even if it's too hard.
We want to remind you to help your child. Make sure when they do IXL, please make sure that they're choosing the lessons with the yellow stars first. Those are recommended by us, and after they complete those, then they can go on to other ones. But the yellow star ones, please have them complete those first.
Yes. Another website. Well, we wanted to provide a little website, maybe each video or every few videos that students can have access to at home. And a great one is called abcya.com. It's abcya.com. And that just has really fun educational games for kindergarten, first grade. You can kind of click on the grade level. It's divided by math and reading and science. And there's some critical thinking games toward the bottom that are theme related and holiday related. So that's just a great tool that if they want something different to use at home, in addition to IXL, or if you change out and do IXL every other day, that's just a great tool to use.
So our funny quotes from kiddos this week really happened when we were assessing for report cards. And one of our report card standard or questions is, do you know your address and your phone number? Well,
we always get great responses.
In my class, I heard a lot of, I don't have a phone. And the faces and the
look at us
like, why would I have a phone?
And another one was, I said, do you know how to call your mommy or daddy? Do you know their phone number? And he or she said, well, I just touched their name, which is true because that's how they call you.
And that just brings us to the point that it is important that children know their address and phone number. And if you can start working with them on that at home, and it's often we when we were talking to them, we realized that some of them know the name of the road, and then what we'll do is we'll say, oh well, what's the numbers on your house, and they do know their address,
You just
but
don't know it's called an
they
address.
don't know it's called an address. So just talking to them about that, and one of the students in your class had a little song.
Yes, it was adorable. Her family made their phone number into a little
Sounded
like jingle bells, and
Yeah.
she remembered it just like that, and that's a great strategy.
And it is important for them to always have one parent's phone number memorized in case they're ever separated or lost. So.
Yes. We had a quote for parents that we just thought was adorable.
I just have to open up my It is, children do not move, think, or speak in a straight line, and neither does imagination nor creativity.
We thought that was
We just thought
cute because they all learn differently. They're all very different children, and we just love them all. And the last thing we wanted to mention was the Character Day Parade, which is next Friday. We just wanted to reiterate they may come to school in their costume, dressed as their favorite character with their book, but please, please, please bring a change of clothes, or they can have their outfit on underneath the costume if that works. We would want them to be comfortable, and sometimes it gets hot on the playground, so we want them to not be miserable.
We also don't want their costumes to get ruined before the holiday. So things like mulch and slides and swings can get caught and can make it dangerous, and just it can ruin costumes. So please make sure there's a change of clothes.
And my fault. We have one last thing. There are some just important dates coming up. Number one, if you have not scheduled a conference with myself or Miss Bowers, please do so. We emailed a link, a sign up genius link, so please check your email. Another thing is Picture Day is October 27th. And for the kids at home, they are offering for them to come in. I believe it's in the afternoon.
I believe it's after school that day.
I did send an email to, and I'm assuming you did as well. Just note, end of the first quarter is October 30th already. Crazy. And we do not have school on November 2nd. Yes. And I think there's one more day in November. I think it's the 18th.
It's the 18th. It's a Wednesday.
Yes.
So be ready
Mark
for
your
that.
calendars, November 2nd and November 18th. So anyway, we hope you enjoy your weekend. Thank you for all your support. We'll see you next week.
Have a great weekend.
Bye.